We're joined right now on RealAgriculture.com by Doug Chorney. Doug is the president of Keystone Agricultural Producers, better known as KAP, and he's based in Manitoba. Welcome today, Doug.
Oh, thank you for calling.
Hey, Doug. Boy, I'll tell you what, it sounds like, or it looks like you have been taken off the NFU's Christmas list. They are, I got a press release yesterday. They're quite upset that the KAP has decided to bow out of the bid to try to save the single desk. I guess, why has KAP made that decision?
Actually, it's not a change in policy at all, and we're not at all supporting the federal government in their move to abolish the single desk. We're just not fighting the federal government. And KAP has never taken a position for or against the single desk. KAP has always been neutral because we recognize the fact that a big percentage of our members have different views on this, and we operate on the principle that we have to work with all members and support policies that fit the objectives of our membership at large, and we can't really take a position on such a divisive issue because it would, just not work well to be representing all these producers and take a side.
Yeah, well, and understandable. It definitely is a divisive topic. Were you surprised at how strongly the NFU came out against your decision?
No, I'm not. I've actually had a lot of calls from members who are disappointed we're not being more confrontational. And, we don't back away from our policy that we think farmers should have the right to say what the future of the wheat board is. That is standing KAP policy, and we're not deviating from that policy. We've publicly stated it at press conferences back as far as June. We've been at the wheat board and participated in their press conferences. But we do recognize the fact that the federal government has the legal authority to move forward, and we do also recognize that they are choosing to move forward in the absence of having a plebiscite. So our big concern as an organization is who's representing the needs of producers who are going to be impacted by this. And we think to be effective as a farm organization, we need to be engaged in discussions with government, not fighting them all the time. And when you're constantly in conflict with the government, it's very hard to have productive, efficient discussions. And although it seems like to some people that we're somehow supporting the government's plan, we're just trying to be practical in a practical world. We have a majority government that's moving forward with a political agenda, and we need to make sure the interests of producers, who are all going to be affected by this, are represented by somebody and some voice. So we've made a presentation to the Transition Working Group with input from our Grains, Oilseeds Committee as well as our Transportation Committee, because there's many non-marketing issues around this change in the Western Canadian grain industry that have to be worked out carefully so that we don't see farmers losing out.
Right. Do you think this? I think what I'm hearing from you, or at least my perception is that you're actually showing a common sense approach here. That in order to have a discussion about this topic, you can't be pounding your fist all the time and throwing out accusations. Do you expect to lose any membership from this decision, or is this? Or do people understand your position?
We already have lost members. We've had members opting out almost on a daily basis because they're so frustrated with us. Members who are strong supporters of the wheat board feel we're somehow abandoning them. And conversely, in June, when I spoke out strongly on the right of farmers to have a say in the changes at the wheat board, we also lost members on a daily basis when they were feeling we were far too sympathetic to the wheat board. So this just would prove that we have two big groups of producers in the province that have vastly different expectations for the future of marketing wheat and barley, and it's a tough issue for us. There's just no way to sugarcoat this.
Yeah,
and it's been a real challenge in agricultural policy for the prairie provinces for decades, and Alberta and Saskatchewan are much the same. I know I've met many farmers from those provinces that have both strong views in both directions. So
yeah. Well, you look at Alberta, for example. So I think most people would think Alberta is a very pro marketing choice province, but at the same time, the president, the CWB, Alan Oberg, is from Alberta. So, I think across the prairies is a very controversial issue. My perception is that Manitoba is the province that would probably be the most divided.
Well, yeah, we've had a potential plebiscite back a few years ago, and it really was consistent with, I think, the polling work that is done by the wheat board to show preferences for marketing on wheat and barley, and it is a 60-40, 50-50 kind of mix for wheat and barley, respectively. And it is highly divisive. And for a general farm organization, it's really tough to navigate through this. But we're taking the approach to be practical and face the reality that change is going to happen with the plans of the current government underway. We feel it would be imprudent for us to step back from this discussion and say it's not happening and we're not going to talk about it, because farmer interests would not be served well. And I always, when I get a call from a farmer member who complains about our activity, I tell them that, to be effective for them as an organization, we have to be out there getting the issues on the table, because standing at the front door throwing eggs at the door won't accomplish anything.
Yeah, I think the grain growers of Canada are obviously excited about the potential opportunity for farmers. Obviously, the NFU is the sky is falling, and this is going to be doomsday for the Western Canadian farmer. Where does KAP sit in terms of some of the potential changes that are about to happen? Do you see some issues, but as well opportunity, or how do you feel about it?
Well, I'm a farmer myself. I grow grain and market it, and I do grow non-board grains, and we do utilize a marketing advisor to help us make timely marketing decisions and hedge against futures and whatnot. So, where there is a high degree of sophistication, I think, among most grain farmers today that are out there selling their grain, and I think a lot of producers will be able to adapt to this change. It's going to be different. It's never going to be the same. There is talk of a CWB post-monopoly, and perhaps there will be opportunities there for farmers to market collectively, much like we buy fuel from the co-op, or in Alberta you have the UFA, which is very highly supported. So when farmers choose to work collectively, they can be very successful at that. So it's not going to be the same as the single desk today, but it'll be an opportunity, I think.
Yeah. So, Doug, if somebody wants, if people are unfamiliar with KAP and they want some more information on it, how can they get more information on Keystone Agricultural Producers?
We have a website that explains, what we do and who we are, and it's www.kap.md.ca. And you can also call our office if you want more information, and we'll be happy to return any calls.
Okay, Doug, thank you very much for the time today, and good luck with this very divisive issue. So we'll talk to you again soon.
My pleasure, and thanks for your interest.